So when I made that last video on this, I sprayed it out and I showed a close-up of the how you put the filler primer on real wet, and it looked like there was some orange peel in it, which there was, but it flows out and you get this nice smooth texture, and that's what I was going for. That's what I got. It doesn't flow out like, say, clear coat flows out when you use the proper hardeners and reducers, but it does flow out, and it'll be smooth. But what I'm making this video for today is block sanding. There's been a lot of debate. I shouldn't say debate. I should say a lot of talking about sanding this way or this way, or crisscrossing like this. And I'll tell you what, if you're going to sand straight on a panel like this that has a round curve, the whole top of this is curved, if you sand straight, you're going to get flat spots. You will. It's common sense. Now, if you sand over it like this, you will not. But you just kind of roll your wrist over and you sand it and roll it over. Now, the debate I've been hearing is the crisscrossing and whether you should crisscross or if you should sand it straight like so. Well, here's why I crisscross sand. Now, I want to tell you this though. I also sand straight, up and down. Yes, there's a time and a place to do it. But I also crisscross sand more than any other style. And there's one reason for doing that. And it's not because some guy came in and said, well, this looks cooler. Looks more like you know what you're doing. No, that's not it. The reason why you do this, the reason why you crisscross, is because when you sand this way, you create a tooth and a grain in the primer. And then when you go back the other way, it takes it down twice as fast as if you were just sanding it straight. You sand it straight, you're just going to keep sanding in the same grain. But if you crisscross it real quick, you'll take it down real quick. I hope that makes sense. Now, you can sand straight like so and then crisscross it this way. But when you're crisscrossing like so, you create a pattern with your block. So you just took this 4-inch block and you turned it into a 6 to an 8-inch block. So you take this little tiny block and you create a 6 to an 8-inch block by sanding it crisscross. Now you can accomplish the same shit by going back and forth like this, yes. But you just really have to, it takes a little bit of finesse and a little bit of knowing what you're doing to sand in those motions. Now when it comes to a side of a fender like this, I'm gonna sand it up and down like so. And the reason why is because these fenders aren't perfectly flat. They have a contour to them. And that contour is there for a reason. It's not a manufacturing or a stamping flaw. That contour is there to provide some rigidity and strength in this fender. Because if it wasn't there and it didn't have a flange on it or a channel like this, it would just flop around in the wind on your bike, and then eventually it would crack the paint. So this isn't perfectly flat. So I can't sand this in a straight line like so. I need to contour it. So basically, what I'm trying to say is you have to assess what you're doing and what you're working on and how you want to approach it and how you want to tackle it. You could get away with crisscrossing the top of this also, but you have to do it with the form and the shape of the fender or any other panel that you're working on. So, I hope this helps somebody into determining how they're going to sand what they're sanding. That's why we guide coat right there.